Granny here. Welcome back to Minecraft. I can't remember what episode it is, but today I'm gonna try and um, get at least one villager that is ready to go with mending so that I can move on with things. So I'm gonna kind of build a temporary little shelter for him to go to until I get my library built and see if we can't get him ready to go. So that's what I'm gonna work on today. So let's get into it. Alright, so I have my potions of weakness and my gold apples. I've got the lectern. And I grabbed a few supplies. If you see the dirt over there on the iron farm, I kind of barricaded myself in there to collect some iron before. I know he says you don't have to do all that, but I still feel like I do. Okay, so we're gonna breed a villager, but let me see. I'll go ahead and get that going. Oh. I guess there was some bread, but I wasn't sure. Do your thing. Okay. Alright. So I'm just gonna go maybe down in here somewhere. I'm just gonna build a 7x7 little house, I guess. Nothing major. Okay, so at this point, I was just waiting for villagers to grow up, because I had 4 babies. And then once they grow up, I start the process of trying to get mending. I also went over to the village and I got rid of all the villagers and got rid of the beds and the workstation so that I wouldn't have that problem. Alright, finally we got mending. I sold him some paper, so that's going to lock him into that. And now we just got to push him off into here. Now I had to change my settings to hard because if you don't, you have less of a chance of, well, it's, dang it, how do I throw it? Oh, I didn't make him splash potions. Alright, well, he'll be fine. Let's go make these splash potions. That part won't take too long. It took about 3 Minecraft days to get mending, so that is so frustrating. Sometimes you can get it right on the first shot, and other times not so much. You got to go at it for. I've had to do it for several hours before. It's aggravating. We need some gunpowder. I'll just grab what we got. We'll do that. Alright, I'm gonna make these splash potions and then I'll get back to the converter. Alright, so we're back at the converter. Now I've got to throw the potion of weakness and feed him the apple. Now, it got me, but it's not going to last but a few more seconds, so it's not going to matter. And we may have to do that a couple of times to get a cheap price. I usually try and do it at least twice, even if it looks like it's giving me a cheaper price. Well, that was good. Alright, so I'm just going to sit here and wait for him to change, and then I'll probably have to do it again. Alright, so he's back to being just a regular villager. So at this point, I'm going to pull these up. Okay. Now, I want him to use the bed I laid down, but he's going to be attached to one of these. Alright, so I'm hoping he'll be attached to his bed in here. And he is. Good. Okay. Lastly, I've got to go get the door. And I can put the door on. Let's go ahead and do that there. Okay. Now, alright, I can make one more mending book because I have one more emerald. But let's lay these beds back down. Okay. We'll go get one more mending book. Alright, now I'm gonna grab some of this other stuff and head back to the base, and I'll be right back. Alright, so I have put stuff away, I'm gonna leave my gold boots here for now. But I don't have a whole lot of XP, but I figure one of the things that I want is on this diamond pickaxe. So I guess we're gonna do efficiency. Yeah, I'll just leave it. Alright, anyway, the point is I can change this later on, but I want it to have mending so that way my diamond pickaxe doesn't get destroyed every time I use it. And I guess I want to put it on my sword. My sword is kind of crappy, but it's better than nothing. This way it will mend as I'm killing things. So, oops. Okay, I did that. Okay, let me put the other mending book in there because I don't need to take it with me. Okay, so here's what we're doing. I have been gathering materials to make a gold farm. But there's a lot of things I don't have. Where all these boxes are things that I don't have. But I need a lot of redstone. And I still need a little bit more cobblestone. But I can't do anything without the redstone. And I need to have obsidian. So I'm going to grab a water bucket and take it with me. And we're going to go down looking for stuff. I want to leave my shovel here. I'm going to leave my axe. Well, I better not leave my axe. As soon as I leave it, I'll need it. And I need a crafting table. That way, if I need to, I can craft some more pickaxes. Alright, so I dug down this way, but I can't remember if I was able to make it all the way down or if I hit another cave. And I think I hit, yeah, another cave. However, I hear a slime. And I need slime to make a sticky piston. And I thought I got some before, but I don't know what I did with it, so that's fine too. Alright, so I finally have all the materials that I need for the gold farm, so the next step is to actually build the gold farm. It was taking a while just digging for the obsidian down in the cave below the house, but because it was taking, I decided, well, I'd use my lava farm to make, well, I made a obsidian farm over here that uses lava, buckets of lava. It's already ready to go again, if I need obsidian again. But the lava farm was taking too long. I did expand it some, but yeah, that took a while. So the obsidian farm actually worked better, and I just ran down into the cave and got several buckets of lava, and I had to do that like 2 or 3 times. Plus I had to mine for a bunch of other things, so. Okay, so the next thing I need to do is build the gold farm. So I'm going to get that built, and then I will be right back. Alright, so at this point I've got the gold farm built, and I'm attempting to test it out to make sure that everything works good. I set the settings on hard because that allows more of the piglins, the zombie piglins, to come in. And it helps with getting levels faster, so. Alright, so as you can see, it's working pretty good. Now they're starting to get more and more, and the levels go up fairly fast. So I'm going to get my levels all the way up and be right back. Alright, so we got the gold farm built. Now we're going to come back and put away the stuff. We got a ton of rotten flesh from it in the gold bars. Alright. It took me a little bit with the gold farm because I kept messing it up and having to redo stuff, so it kind of got aggravating for a moment. But we got it working pretty good now. And I was able to get quite a few levels. And while I was down there on the beach, I got a turtle scoop. So that'll help for later on if I want to use it. I usually don't. But I don't know. Not real sure what you do with it anyway. Something I've got to look up. Okay. And I got a couple of gold swords. I usually smelt them down, but for right now I'm just going to throw them over here. Anyway, we want to grab our diamonds and start crafting all the things that we need. I'm going to start with the armor first. Okay, and then we'll do one sword and an axe. Alright, so that gives us all the different things. Now, let's go see what kind of enchantments that we can get on this. Oh, well, it's almost nighttime. I might be able to get at least one enchantment. Thorns, I don't want it. Fire protection, I don't want it. Projectile, I don't want it. Sharpness, maybe, but... yeah, I don't know. Let's go ahead. Alright, let me... yeah, it's just sharpness. Alright, so let's disenchant. Smite. I don't care much about the projectile. I don't want fire. I just want straight up protection. Protection 3. Not too bad for right now. Okay, I can get protection 4. Nice. Okay. Unbreaking. Wrong one. Sharpness 4. Oh, give me something better. Okay, it's a little better. I want looting. But as long as I don't put the mending books on, I think. Or no, I can still add to it even if I add mending. It's just if I make it netherite, I can't. Okay. I'm gonna try and re-roll it. Alright, let's try the boots. I can add to it later. Okay, so I'll have to come back for the rest of it. I think that way I have a diamond axe and I can get more of the mending books later once I get a villager trading hall going in where I can make some emeralds. Okay, so wait a minute. Alright, so the gold farm we can get rid of. Auto sugarcane farm, I've got to finish clearing out my little basement space where I want to put it. It's going to go in here, which actually I could just put it on this side and go from there. But it's going to take a lot of crafting. So, alright, so I guess what I'm going to do is gather up the materials that I've got. So I don't have any spruce. I'm going to have to get spruce. Okay. But yeah, I'm going to gather up my materials and then I'm going to figure out where exactly that I want to put this villager trading hall. So I think for now I'm just going to come out here and I'm going to cut down some of these trees. And once I get enough wood, then we'll head over to the village area over there and determine where we're going to put our trading hall. Once we get our trading hall going, we'll be able to we'll have more librarians, so we'll be able to get more enchanting books and all kinds of stuff like that. So it's going to be a minute, but I will be back. Alright, so here I'm getting ready to build the sugarcane farm, and I thought my volume was on, but apparently I had accidentally muted my headphones. So it's going to be a silent clip for most of it, but I think you can still follow along with what's happening. So I apologize about the voiceover, but just bear with it. Okay, so now I'm getting ready to add my double chests, and I'll put a hopper going into those chests, and you'll see me break away the stone just to make sure the hopper is going into the chest. And it is. So I'll place the block back down, and it's time to put in the powered rails. So we'll go to each end, and I'll go down 2 blocks. I gotta clear in this water. There was a lot of water down in this half of it. But you put a redstone torch down, and then a block, and put a powered rail. Now I do 2 powered rails on each side. So I'm gonna put a second one down, go to the other side, repeat the same thing. Dig down 2 blocks, redstone torch, block, and then 2 powered rails, and then regular rails the rest of the way. And you gotta crouch when you get down to the hopper to be able to put the rail down on the hopper. Okay, with that done, I'm gonna put down my dirt. Now you'll see I skip the dirt on that end powered rail, and the reason I do that is because that's going to just be one further past the farm, and because you want it to kind of go past where your dirt is just in case, but it'll get covered up with a regular block when we actually start building the rest of the farm. But this is where I discovered that I'm one too many, which is fine. Like I said, I add an extra dirt block, and I add an extra piston and observer that I go and make here in just a minute. Now, I need some stairs, so I just grab a bunch because I couldn't remember how many, and it's not like they won't get used for something else later. Okay, so now I've got to turn a stair that way, and then the rest of them go straight until I get to the end, and then I want to turn it that way so it looks like a little water trough. And then I've got to create an infinite water source, which is done by placing blocks in a square so that in the middle of that square it's a 4x4 section. So you should have 4 squares, or 2x2, sorry. Should be 4 squares in the middle. Alright. So now I've got to go grab some buckets and go get water. Alright, so you gotta make sure you put one on one corner and then go catty corner and put the other one on the other side. And then you've got endless water. Now we've got to fill in each one of the stairs with water. Okay, now that I got all the water filled in, I need to add a row of blocks that covers the water. This is where the pistons are going to sit. So they'll sit on top of that block. You want to go all the way across the dirt there. And we do our pistons. And on top of the pistons, we'll put our observers. I put the first one on and I put it backwards. But see how I'm putting the end blocks over so it's covered in, but that's just part of it. All right, and then I add all the way up to the pistons. This is where I figure out that I've got to actually do it from behind. I don't know what I was thinking, but... So, alright. What you do is you put a row of blocks that goes along the back of the pistons. Alright, and then grab your observers. Well, I fell. And the observers sit on top of the piston, making sure that the face of the observer is facing out. So that when you turn around and go to the front of the machine, you'll see the face just above the piston. Now you gotta put redstone behind every one of the observers, and that's all that's needed for the back. I put a row of blocks on top because it makes it easier to add my glass blocks to keep the sugarcane from shooting out when I get it going. Alright, and so I'll show how I do my glass here in a minute, but I've got to go grab glass. I don't have enough glass on me, so I wind up having to... Well, I was in the wrong thing anyway, but I have to go and get more here in just a minute. But I will come back once I show you how the glass goes. Okay, so as you can see, I'm finishing it up. Hopefully you were able to figure out what I was doing without any commentary. For whatever reason, you can only add so much commentary to this whole thing before it tells you that you can't add anymore. So I kind of left it silent, and I apologize for that, but I think you can get it. I don't remember who I actually learned how to build this from, but you can get on YouTube and search automatic sugarcane farms, and I'm sure JC Plays has one, or any of the others. I don't know. Just get on there and search it if you're not sure. You need to make sure that you add the torches to the top as well, because that's going to add light. And then I threw down a few other torches just inside, just to give the overall room some more look. But anyway, with that being done, I still have to gather more materials for the library. I just wanted to go ahead and get this one put together so that when we do start to get our villagers into the trading hall, we have paper to be able to sell, because I want a lot of different librarians. But I think this is where I'm going to leave the episode for today. But when we come back, we'll try and do the library. But I want to thank you for watching. If you're new to the channel, don't forget to subscribe. If you have been here before, even leave a like, leave us a comment. Make sure to share this video. We're at 36 subscribers, still trying to get to 50, so please share us out there so that we can get more people. You're going to see me making more gold apples. That's what I was doing at the end. But anyway, once again, thanks for watching. And until next time, we'll see you on the flip side.